This through Sports Scene's Match of the Day.
Sports Scene tonight, two of the Cup semi-finalists meet. The arguments are still raging. Should Kilmarnock have had a penalty? And should Aberdeen have been a man shot? Good evening. Goals and talking points aplenty tonight, and another chance to enter our Cup mascot competition. Do your favourite Cup goals coincide with Derek Johnston's choice? Derek, with me tonight as always. Well, Kilmarnock now have a Cup semi-final to look forward to, but manager Tommy Burns, always the realist, is well aware that his side are still not clear of the fringes of the battle against relegation. Today, Killie faced an Aberdeen side who simply have to keep winning if they are to have any hope of winning the championship. The commentator at Rugby Park is Jock Brown.
Kilmarnock suffered a major blow at training yesterday when Ali Mitchell went over on an ankle. So Craig Napier wears his number 7 jersey, and manager Tommy Burns comes into central midfield, with George McCluskey preferred to Bobby Williamson up front. Tom Brown provides hope for a multitude of players who mature late, particularly from the junior ranks. He turned senior last summer at the age of 25 from Glenafton Athletic, and he's proved a great signing for the club. Aberdeen have to do without the services of Scott Booth, injured against St Johnstone, but otherwise manager Willie Miller keeps faith with the men who've served him well since that home defeat against Hearts 2 weeks ago, when Derek Stilley made his first appearance in goal. The replacement for Booth is Joe Miller, who may well play wide on the left, with Jess likely to join Duncan Sheeran in the striking role. Miller has contributed 5 goals to the Aberdeen cause this season. The referee this afternoon from Carluke, Mr. Donald McVicker, in his final season as a Grade 1 referee. An absolutely vital match this for both sides. Kilmarnock stuttering badly in the league in recent weeks despite their very good cup performances. Only 3 points in the last 8 league games. The last victory in the league on the 4th of January against Dundee. Since then, 3 draws only. So for them, it is vitally important to steer themselves away from that relegation zone. Aberdeen, on the other hand, can afford no slip-ups if they're to maintain pressure on Rangers at the top of the league. The contrasting fortunes also in midweek for the clubs here. Kilmarnock losing by 3 goals to 2 at Kirkcaldy against Wraith Rovers in the league, while Aberdeen cruised into the Tennent Scottish Cup semi-final with a good win at home against St Johnstone. So the opening stages are liable to be tense. That blow yesterday when Ali Mitchell was forced to drop out of the side, a bad one for manager Tommy Burns, I'm sure. A very healthy crowd inside Rugby Park, although that's perhaps enhanced by the fact that vouchers will be handed out to Kilmarnock supporters for the Tennent Scottish Cup semi-final against Rangers. Montgomery returning and hoping for a teammate running into that area. The skipper of Kilmarnock, Ray Montgomery. Cool play here by Irvin. Well, there are some bumpy patches on this surface which has seen so much wear over the season. Mistakes like that can be expected from time to time. There's Tom Black. Cross goes McCluskey. Goal kick. There was no touch there by McKimmie. The referee was very well positioned for that. So the build-up starting patiently from the back from Aberdeen. Clumsy tackle there by Montgomery on Jess. Well, Jess was too quick for him that time. He's taken a heavy late challenge. Now this is another moment of anxiety for the international manager Craig Brown, who's watching this afternoon. Scott Booth already a casualty, and now Ian Jess, the victim of that crunching tackle. So here's that tackle again. It really was a severe one by Montgomery. He was beaten by the pace of Jess, and that sliding late tackle came in. Aberdeen starting the match very positively, looking very eager. Good running by Joe Miller. And the recovery was a good one by Montgomery. Well, Montgomery not happy with the marking. He's having a word with some of his teammates. Good ball in this by Richardson. There was Joe Miller. Montgomery had to be very quick in the recovery there. All the tackling very keen indeed among the Kilmarnock defenders. Now McCluskey, a chance to break from the right. Forward it goes towards Reilly, who didn't appreciate that pass was likely. Offside against three players, Wright, Shearer and Geddes. Jim Heddle is the replacement linesman this afternoon. The original linesman all the way in the middle because the original choice, Ian Taylor of Edinburgh, is injured. The referee. Nowhere to go there, not supported well enough in his view. He's playing to the midfield man. Well held by MacPherson. There would have been an offside decision otherwise. Across goes Reilly. McCluskey on the turn. Well, you never lose that superb touch and control, regardless of age. McCluskey showing that again. No real power in the shot, but great control leading up to that. Brown bundled over. Free kick to Kilmarnock. Reilly to Black. Stephen Wright putting him under pressure. And mistakes over in the middle of the field. MacPherson to Mlln. Tom Brown's header, chance here for McSkimming. And the deflection off the crossbar. Fine play there by Kilmarnock. It looks as though they're not going to get a corner kick, which they're certainly entitled to. This shot clearly deflected off Alec McLeish. They headed down though by Tom Brown with a good one. Here was McSkimming in space, playing it against Alec McLeish, then the crossbar. Here's Brown again, breaking away from Irvine. Into the gap it goes for McCluskey. Well, this young man is developing into a fine young goalkeeper. Certainly, I think, to be named in the Scotland Under-21 squad. He's already had youth caps, and he shows such assurance and composure as he did here, going down at the feet of George McCluskey. Good play by Reilly, earning the throw with the back heeler off McKimmie. There's Andy Mlln. Well, between two players there for Kilmarnock, so McKimmie has time. Shearer has been well seen in the match so far. Same applies to Richardson, but still no success in midfield for Aberdeen against the blanket play of Kilmarnock, and here goes Napier. He's in the clear. There's a chance for Kilmarnock's opening goal. He goes down, and the referee waves aside. Appeals for a penalty kick. Wow, the Kilmarnock players surrounding the referee. It was fine play in midfield by Kilmarnock. Napier spraying the offside trap. Still he's staying up as long as he could, then going down. Well, I think on the evidence of that replay, the keeper judged fortunately by referee Vicker, who was ideally positioned. Wright's pass finds Kane. Richardson takes over after a tackle by Napier. Here's Shearer. Space now for Gary Smith. He has Joe Miller hugging the touchline on the far side. And long cross chased here by Stephen Wright, cleared it early, and it's a good safe clearance by Tom Black. Suddenly space appearing in the Kilmarnock half. There hasn't been much of that for Aberdeen to exploit so far in the match. The throw being taken here by McKimmie. By Barnes. That's Joe Miller. It's in! The looping volley has beaten Bobby Geddes. And Aberdeen snatch a lead with 23 minutes on the clock. Well, virtual silence around Rugby Park. A little clutch of Aberdeen supporters celebrating. But what a blow this is to Kilmarnock, who've been right in the match in the last 15 minutes or so. And suddenly, they've lost the goal here. And that looping overhead ball from Mlln beats Geddes right at the postage stamp. Well, Joe Miller just trying to get that on target. He couldn't have put in a better spot to beat Geddes. Here's Barnes holding off that challenge from Kane. McSkimming. He's allowed to turn now to face the Aberdeen defence. That's well claimed by Killie. Not a lot of power in the shot, but the direction was good. See from behind the goal just how good it was. Here was Sean McSkimming in space on his right foot, going towards the corner. Well claimed by Killie. So back from Black to Mlln. Little spurt of attacking play, not providing the goal that Kilmarnock wants so badly. Try again here with Reilly going forward. McLeish wins it from McCluskey. Barnes tackles well. They win it from Kane. Here's McSkimming. Now Reilly. Space for MacPherson. Well, he can hit them all right. Didn't quite get hold of that one. MacPherson has scored only once so far this season, but does strike the ball very sweetly normally with his right foot. Set himself for this one. And as that ball goes over, referee McVicker brings the first half to an end. A strange first half in which Kilmarnock contributed very substantially to the attacking force, but they went behind in 23 minutes when Joe Miller looped in a volley from about 16 yards into the top corner. And that came just 2 or 3 minutes after Derek Killie appeared to bring down Craig Napier inside the area, but Kilmarnock and Napier were denied, and it was a let-off for Killie and for Aberdeen. So at half-time, it's Kilmarnock 0, Aberdeen 1. Aberdeen have certainly had to sign on Kilmarnock this season. It's the 4th match between the clubs. 2 Aberdeen victories and a draw here at Rugby Park earlier in the season, a 1-1 draw. Well, it was 1-0 to Aberdeen in August at Pittodrie, and then 3-1 at Pittodrie in December. So Kilmarnock really looking for some inspiration for the second half. They will be desperate to get back on the rails because they are being sucked into this relegation battle rapidly. And with Raith Rovers deriving a lot of hope from their midweek victory, only Dundee looking somewhat detached. Tommy Burns in that dressing room, I'm sure, would have been reiterating his players that they did manage to have a lot of possession against Aberdeen in the first half without too many breaks around the penalty box. Down goes Jess, fouled not once but twice. The second time by Mlln. The first was a free kick though, for the one by Montgomery, I think. The loser running again by Ian Jess. Duncan Shearer is hovering here to take this free kick. Kane is also there. Richardson may try to bend one in. He does indeed. Positioning of Geddes was good enough to make that look easy. Well, Richardson full of confidence after a good recent spell on the side, but Bobby Geddes had that well under control. Irvin's header collected again by Mlln. He's having a good match for Kilmarnock. McLeish gets there ahead of Brown. Well, it's positioning which is so vital here for McLeish at the stage in his career. Always gives him that extra yard or two. Gary Smith made a good challenge in Napier. Kimmy to right. Closed down by Burns. It's a throw to Aberdeen now. Still Kilmarnock finding it very difficult to carve out any clear chances. Burns again, instant control. A willing run also made by Brown. McCluskey to Barnes, it came off Kane. That was good play by Kilmarnock. McCluskey's dummy allowing Barnes that shot at goal. Well, good play here by Tommy Barnes. It came straight off Paul Kane. I think Derek Stilley will be glad of that. It was going to be difficult for him to take. There's Reilly. Headed by Montgomery. Headed away off on the line by Wright. Tom Black unable to keep that shot down. But some encouragement here for Kilmarnock. Good spell of attacking play. Going to get one well here by Ray Montgomery. And the headed away was by Wright. Black couldn't keep that on target. There's no offside there against Duncan Shearer, who wasn't interfering with play at all, trying to get back onside. He was on the near side, on his flank. As Aberdeen tried to make progress. Well, Paul Kane was certainly offside there. The Kimmy breaking. Well blocked the first time by Geddes. A chance for Shearer! And Aberdeen score the second. And Kilmarnock are furious about the offside decision, which wasn't given in that build-up. Well, Duncan Shearer gets goal number 23. There have been very few easier than that. That ball played in by Stephen Wright. McKimmie was certainly not offside. He played it across. It was well blocked by Geddes. That was beyond the keeper. And there was Duncan Shearer. It was Paul Kane earlier in the move who did appear to be offside. But the ball is played in very well there by Wright to McKimmie. There's nothing wrong with that. And the break of the ball falling kindly for Aberdeen again. They lead by 2. 57 minutes of the match gone. Vicious header. That's good play by Gary Smith, who was fouled by MacPherson. Smith plays it long. Here's Jess. Fine pass. Right in space. Bring it back early. Montgomery was in the way. This is Barnes. Mlln to Black. Here's McKimmie. Headed clearance there by Mlln. Picked up by Shearer. It is well behind that ball from Duncan Shearer. That was his 50th goal, incidentally, for Aberdeen. 23rd of this season, and his 50th in all. Good effort, the left foot, but easily taken by Geddes. Here was Barnes. Chase on here, Brown getting there ahead of McLeish. Was he a good tackle there? Here's McCluskey. And cleared off the line by Gary Smith. Kilmarnock looking hopefully towards the linesman. But Derek Stilley's goal survives here. Chase on for Brown with McLeish. McLeish did just enough to hold him, but McCluskey was there beyond the keeper towards the empty goal, and clearly safely off the line by Smith. McLeish heading clear. Oh, there's a goal for Kilmarnock. Scored there by Tom Black. They're right back in the match. Tom Black getting his 3rd goal of the season in the 64th minute of the match. And a lifeline has been thrown to the home side. Well, it was an orthodox corner kick by Mark Reilly. It was won well by McLeish. Now one touch to control it by Black, and then that thundering drive in at the near post. Well, a fine strike it was by Tom Black, his first goal from open play this season. And his weaker foot, the right, perfectly positioned. Here's Jess breaking. He has Shearer on the right. Tom Black going across. Richardson and Jess wait in the box. And played in very early indeed, I think, hoping to find Ian Jess, who's totally frustrated there. An opening there for Shearer to exploit. Jess playing the ball across there, then he made his way into the area, hoping to get this ball delivered again by Duncan Shearer. McSkimming pushed by Irvin. It's a free kick again to Kilmarnock. Just over 20 minutes left for play. Barnes towards McCluskey. Couldn't collect that on the run. space here now for Richardson. Shearer on the right, Jess on the left, on his own. Here's Jess, able to run in and goal here. And a fine finish by Ian Jess. Well, that ends a lengthy goal famine for Jess, as he scores his 10th goal of the season. Well, what relief through the Aberdeen ranks. This goal was always on as soon as Lee Richardson broke and picked out Ian Jess to go in for that finish. 10th game without a goal this would have been until that moment. He last scored against Celtic on the 19th of January, and a timely time to pick up a goal just before the international against Holland on Wednesday. He's watched this afternoon by Craig Brown. Well, is there more drama to come here? Kilmarnock certainly have played with a degree of belief in themselves, which suggests that they will fight the last drop here to earn something from the match. Napier lofting it across awkwardly. Still he couldn't get to that. Made a good save from Brown. And again it doesn't run kindly for Kilmarnock in front of goal. Derek Stilley clearly believed that he was fouled. He's explaining himself to his defenders. He challenged there. He made a very good reaction save from Tom Brown, and then was happy to see that go over. Well, Sean McSkimming right in the goalkeeper. Might have had a case for a foul, the young keeper, but it didn't matter in the end. Headed on by Kane. Barnes now looking for McCloy. He's very speedy indeed. He got it out ahead of Stilley. That's a goal for Kilmarnock. A delightful goal scored by Stephen McCloy. His pace undoubtedly surprised the Aberdeen defenders. And what a moment to score his first goal in the Kilmarnock first team at the age of 18. Very quick indeed there ahead of McKimmie, playing it beyond Derek Stilley in a tight angle. And a fine goal by the youngster. Well, he seemed to be in no position to score there at all, but he was determined, committed, he was quick enough and accurate enough. Irvin under pressure there. McKimmie goes down, it's back with McCloy, but the whistle is gone. But a free kick for a trip on McKimmie. Well, the Kilmarnock players again upset by that decision. There was McKimmie going across. Well, he seemed to stumble himself, in fairness, rather than be brought down by Brown. And that's what the Kilmarnock player, I think, was complaining about. Off goes Joe Miller. Montgomery comes across. Tries to keep the ball in play. Doesn't quite make it. Shearer at the corner flag. Aberdeen have a throw, and the final whistle goes. Aberdeen have clinched 2 vital points. What a match enshrouded in some controversy. It all began with a very loud penalty claim by Kilmarnock before the opening goal when Napier was brought down by Stilley, but in the end the most impressive thing for Kilmarnock probably was that fine goal by Stephen McCloy just before the end to make it 3-2. But had that penalty been given in 20 minutes, 3 minutes only before Joe Miller put Aberdeen ahead, it might all have been so different. That's why there is so much abuse coming from the stands and terracings for the referee Donald McVicker as he departs. It certainly was a match full of controversy, but the winners in the end were Aberdeen. It's Kilmarnock 2, Aberdeen 3.
I think Kilmarnock seemed to leave the field at the end harbouring some sense of injustice about some refereeing decisions. I won't draw you into that, but over the piece, from your own point of view, do you think the win was deserved?
Well, yeah, I thought we were comfortable at 3-1. Obviously to lose a goal towards the end of the game was a wee bit disappointing. But I mean, I've been coming down to this area for a number of years, and controversial decisions isn't new to me. Usually it goes against us, but I'm not going to get into that. But yeah, I think we were happy with the result. Obviously Kilmarnock won't be happy with the result. There's a few talking points in the game, very difficult to judge when you're standing in the dugout. But no doubt when we see it on TV, it might clarify 1 or 2 points.
Well, let's try and do that now for Willie and for everyone else. 5 goals, plenty of talking points, and bizarre refereeing decisions, Derek.
Well, it's incredible. We've been saying this for years, Doug, about referees, the inconsistency, and I think today's referee showed that.
Yeah, this is a rule which really, on paper, looks to be fairly straightforward about this last man idea that you go off if you're the last defender, but it does seem to be getting applied with inconsistency, as you say.
There's too many grey areas for it. I mean, they're saying he's not interfering with play if he's running back. But you are, 10 seconds previous, you're putting pressure on the opposition goalkeeper, so you are interfering with play. I think linesmen have got to flag for offside for that.
Right, well, let's take a look at them. Firstly, the penalty incident. Was this a penalty, and if it was a penalty, should the goalkeeper have been sent off?
Without a shadow of a doubt, it's a penalty kick for me. Really, I think the referee was the only man on the ground that didn't see it. I mean, it's a tremendous ball through. Napier's running through now. Derek Stillie's different class here. He's got the composure. Look, knows exactly what he's going to do. Then all of a sudden rushes in. Look, it's the feet that catches him. It's not the hands. He's dived in with the feet and burrowed him down. And really, should have been off the park.
So it should have been a penalty, and Stillie perhaps should have been red carded. Now, this is the offside decision, and in fact, it's now been and gone.
Yeah.
Everything that happens from now on is fine. There's no problem with any of this.
That's legitimate now. The ball's squared across there, and Shearer in the right position and puts the ball in the net. That's not the problem. The problem is when the ball's kicked here, and it's not Stephen Wright wide on the right here. Look here on the left-hand side of it. Look, ring there. Paul Kane has just come back after going to the goalkeeper. Now he was clearly. You see the signal from the linesman there. You wonder what that means. I mean, obviously the referee said it was okay, play on, but he was certainly offside when the ball was kicked.
Paul Kane must have been yards offside.
He was yards offside.
Again, the argument might be, was he interfering with play?
Well,
he has to be.
If he's not interfering with play, he shouldn't be on the pitch. It's as simple as that.
Yes, all right. It's been yards offside. So in both cases there, we reckon Kilmarnock are hard done by.
I think Willie Miller will be delighted.
All right. What about young Stephen McCloy, son of an old teammate of yours, who scored a very good goal at the end?
Well, that's right, the big gas meter himself, smashing big goalkeeper. But he'll be delighted to see his son there. He didn't want him to be a goalkeeper, too much pressure on him. There's a young lad showing a bit of pace. He'll love that goal, really. A bit of mistake, I think, by Stillie and McKimmie, but he'll be delighted with that. Showed a lot of composure.
Yes, Stuart McKimmie did seem to just assume that the ball.
Well, I think he got a shout, Dougie. That was a problem. The young goalie came out, thought he was going to get it, so he slowed down, and well done to young Stephen, nipped in between him and stuck the ball in it.
Yeah, it still strikes me Kilmarnock, it's the old cliche, isn't it, that they look too good a side to go down, but they are getting sucked back into this relegation fight, aren't they?
Well, there's no such a thing, too good. If you don't get victories, Dougie, you go down. I watched them in midweek against Raith Rovers at Kirkcaldy, and they only played well for about 15-20 minutes and scored 2 goals, but still lost the game 3-2.
Yes, and as for Aberdeen, they've got to keep winning, as we keep saying, and 2 good points today, clearly.
It is. I thought they were very professional today, and probably in the end they deserved to win. They looked the better side, although Kilmarnock had most of the ball. I think they lacked just a wee bit of penetration up front.
And nice to see Ian Jess getting back in the score sheet, particularly in view of the international on Wednesday.
Well, he's had an up and down season, is he, with Scott Booth in it.